William Edmunson. Welcome back to The Price of Business. Got a lot on our list today, so we want to keep things moving here on The Price of Business. I am filling in for the vacationing Kevin Price. We let Kevin take a vacation every now and then. I'd like to introduce our next guest. His name is Brian Gordon, and he is with MAGA Ltd. Brian, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, tell us a little bit about MAGA.
MAGA is a long-term care insurance planning agency based in the suburbs of Chicago, and it was actually started about 41 years ago by my father, Murray Gordon, and that's kind of how you got the name MAGA. It used to be Murray A. Gordon Associates, and shortened it to MAGA probably in the mid-'80s or so, and he never liked his name in lights. And what we did is we worked with a lot of retirement communities and a lot of planners around the country, even back in the mid-'70s when my dad started in the business, and helping people, have solutions for long-term care. And back then, when he first started the business, it was more taking care of people in a nursing home setting, and that's why it was called nursing home insurance when he first started. And when I joined him back in 1990, the products were starting to morph into plans where home care was addressed, but the policies really towards the mid-'90s is when we started to see the more comprehensive long-term care plans.
Yeah, it's been quite a change in the industry. I know we've got some family members that are getting a little bit older, and there's a change. In the old days, it was just a nursing home, and now there's home care. There's assisted living facilities that are really like a condo. Really quite a change.
Yes, there has been many changes in the industry. As a matter of fact, most people that are using their policies, about 70% of all claimants that we see out there, as well as the industry sees, that they're either in their homes or in assisted living facilities being cared for. It's a much more appealing level of care, and obviously if a person's situation is such that they need to be in the more skilled, nursing facilities, then there are also some very good ones out there for people to choose from as well.
Yeah, it's nice to have some options now.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about your company. When I looked at the website, one of the things I liked is it said, we provide a tailored, individualized approach without cost or obligation. What does that mean?
Right. What that basically means is that, everybody that we talk to is not always a good candidate to buy long-term care insurance for themselves, but everybody we speak to should do some type of long-term care planning. And what I mean by that is if people are closer to being towards the Medicaid level, or they have very limited, assets as well as limited income, you don't want to take a portion of that and buy insurance and take away from the rest of their lives either. So people need to have a plan, and then people that decide that they want to fully self-insure this, what they need to do is they need to also let their families know that, hey, we're not buying insurance to cover this risk. We are going to self-fund it, and if something happens to us, these are the accounts you're going to tap into and deplete first if something were to happen to mom or dad or to the aunt and uncle that we're dealing with out there. And the idea is to have a good understanding of what these policies do, and also what people need to realize is that when they buy long-term care insurance, they don't need to insure 100% of the cost of care. Over 90% of people that we deal with are looking to have the insurance hedge against the cost of care, and that people do have assets and income to help fund some of that cost out of their own pocket, but at a tune of anywhere from $6,000 a month to $13,000 or $14,000 a month. People like to have a plan to help take care of some of those costs.
Yeah, and not everybody thinks about it that way. Tell us, Brian, who is your ideal client?
Our ideal client it could be either a single or a married couple. We do a lot of work with women as well. Obviously, it's a big concern to the females because they tend to live longer with some of these problems. And in many households, the females are much better suited to take care of us males because sometimes we're not the best caregivers in the world.
Right.
So, we do a lot of work with people that also have charitable wishes as well, that they want to make sure that those assets remain to go to a charity of their wishes. And so we work with a lot of different people. We work with people, a lot of them that work with financial advisors. And because it's something that as a financial advisor, they better be having these conversations with their clients, and they better be working with someone who does specialize in this type of a plan as well, because that's what primarily what our business is working with those planners that really want to focus on the asset investing for their clients, make sure they're going to have a sound retirement, and then those folks will bring in experts to help, with different parts of their plan to kind of fill up some of those gaps for those families.
Yeah, the whole process now is so complicated. There's so many options. That's probably something where you all really have to focus on tailoring the plan to each client's needs.
Yes, yeah, because everyone's an individual. Everyone's got different wishes. Everyone's got different health issues themselves, and also different family experiences. So there's no cookie cutter approach to long-term care planning. We do find a lot of people do write the same plan for whether you're dealing with a 35 or 40-year-old, or if you're dealing with someone in their mid-60s. I don't always find that the best solution for a lot of people, because you do have to look at everyone as an individual based on what they're looking to do.
Sure. We're winding down on time, so let's make sure that we get your website in there. How can people find you all?
Our website is www.magaltc.com, and it's magaltc.com. And our 800 number is 800-533-6242.
Great. And again, you're listening to Brian Gordon. He's the president of MAGA LTC, and they specialize in individual long care planning. Any closing comments?
No, I think it's something that if people care about their families and their spouses and their partners, that long-term care is something that they should consider for themselves, because it's probably one of the biggest problems that we see with families in keeping the dynamics together, because a lot of families do fight when mom and dad or their aunt and uncle need care for themselves. So having a plan in place is super important.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for all that you guys do and taking the mystery out of this for folks as they're planning their long-term care. And just thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, this is William Edmunson, and I'd like to thank Kevin and producer Sigmund Kramer for allowing me to guest host this episode of The Price of Business. And remember, the best content here shows up at usdailyreview.com. Thank you, and I'll be with you again tomorrow.